Alright, my goal in this video is to demonstrate the capability of creating a cube in GeoGebra, making a Menger sponge, properly, and how to make it look perfect, and using the 3D capabilities here. So to do so, we want to be in graphics, 3D graphics mode. Get rid of the algebra for right now. And personally, I don't like having the axis right away. It kind of helps for building the cubes later on, but right away we'll just get rid of the axis up here. And I don't like this button either. So from here we can create our cube by going into our pyramid, selecting cube. Fairly easy. Creating 2 points, and it creates a cube for us. I personally don't like these red shades in between the objects, so I'm just going to hide the objects. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to make all the points consistent. And so as you can see, I have 3 vertices here, and some of them are blue, but they're different colors, and the other 5 are labeled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them by using Control and clicking on each one of them. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I had to go to Move first. Control, and then selecting each one of them. And then from there, I can select label and hide the labels. I can miss one. Also change the color of it as well. I want them all to be blue, that color blue. Of course, not that line. Yep, there we go. And I want to make the size the same as well. So again, holding down Control on all of these points. All at that medium setting. Creates the same size. Make them all this dark blue color. There we go. So I got all these 8 vertices, a dark blue at the right size. And I can go in and make my midpoints now. To go in and make my midpoints, I'm going to go to the point option, make a midpoint, and I want my midpoint to be a red to stand out from the blue, of course. And I want it to be the same size, that middle size. Just click on each vertex, we'll do this. All right, so I've got all my points there. Essentially labeled my, or not labeled, but drawn my Menger sponge accordingly. Again, creating 12 red vertices along the edges, and then the 8 blue vertices as well. From here, I want to start drawing on my cube, and to do my drawings, it's a little bit weird making it consistent, and so I found what the best way to do is just remake the edges in between the vertices, and then just color them differently and change the size. So to do that, I'm going to select my line option and make it a segment. I'm going to make each string attached to the cube a different color. And so I like using bright colors and selecting my thickness to the highest ability. And so I'm going to make each string. So that would be one string. And then going on to the next string, I'd make a different color. Oops. Stop that. There we go. Yellow. That. Let's use pink for the next one. And finally, we'll use, I like purple. Let's go with a purple color. All right, so there we go. I've created the 4 strings on this cube, effectively using all the vertices here. And what I like about GeoGebra here is we can still see our red colors and we can still see the blue colors. But we can also see the strings in between them. Different color strings to, of course, identify the different strings. Once we start going into larger cubes, though, probably won't continue the color coding. Maybe, I just don't know if there's enough color options to make it significantly different looking. Um, but from there, we can start copying our cube if we want to, uh, using Control Alt and then pasting it. Of course, it takes a little time, which is the unfortunate part. Oh, why that's not pulling up. Let me try that again. Copy and paste. There we go. A little bit faster. And then making a next cube, I can throw it along the grid here. And that one turned out nicely. Having done this a few times, though, I've noticed it kind of gets off a little. So the hard part will be like right there. You can kind of see how it's not together on the same line, on the same grid. So I think pulling the grid back up, or sorry, the axis, kind of helps to look at it when creating the next cube. It just takes some time and some carefulness in creating all the cubes. That's definitely the hardest part about using GeoGebra, is creating all those cubes on the same level, on the same plane. That's probably what I'll work on next, is making sure that those are all even in level. But of course, that makes it easy now creating these cubes. But that's about it for right now. Found an easy way to use GeoGebra to make this cube in a short amount of time, but also allowing me to look at a 3D perspective, making it easy to look above, below, in between the cubes. So far, this is just a tier 1 cube. If I move to a tier 2 sponge, which is my next goal to make on GeoGebra, using similar ideas, and I already have an idea of the symmetry I want to make for it, using 32 strings for a tier 2 cube, which would be, again, like I said, a symmetrical solution, which means I'd only need about 5 cubes here in this model to make the 32 cube. Then hopefully I can duplicate that easily, and then from there move on to a tier 3 sponge, which is going to take a little more time, and I'll have to see if GeoGebra can actually look at all the aspects of a tier 3 cube. But from there, that's what I've got with GeoGebra, and I think that's what I'm going to continue working on from here on out.